Pillars of Eternity 1 Complete Edition Guide, Companion Maneha Barbarian build. This build was made to work on Pot of the Dam difficulty, and if it works on the hardest difficulty available, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's not waste time, and let's go. To say a few things about Maneha as a barbarian. Barbarians are there to go into the fray, use their rage, their fury, fight off enemies, deal a lot of DPS and sustain a lot of damage. They're classic bruisers, okay? They got crowd control, single target damage, AoE damage as well, but all of it is physical. Let's level up Maneha. We want 7 points into survival and everything else will go into athletics. So level 2, we plan to dual wield Maneha, so we're gonna take accurate carnage for extra accuracy. On level 3, we're going with survival and with athletics. For the first barbarian ability, of course, we're taking frenzy, flat up stats increase damage. There is nothing better on barbarian than frenzy, and that's about it. On level 4, we're going with survival and with athletics again. And we say next. We're immediately upgrading frenzy into greater frenzy. On level 5, we're going into survival, and now we stop because of damage reduction 2 while resting, and all of the other points now will go into athletics till the very end. For the barbarian ability here, we're gonna take one standalone. This flat up melee damage percentage increase is just way too good to skip, and of course, plus 2 more enemies are needed to flank the barbarian, or better to say 3+ enemies are required now to go with those penalties. Barbarian now becomes quite good. On level 6, we're going with athletics, we say next. And now for the talents, in the offensive talents, we're searching for the dual wield talent. That would be a 2-weapon style, 20% flat attack speed when dual wielding. We want to dual wield weapons on Maneha as a barbarian. This is a dual weapons build after all. On level 7, we're going with athletics 2 times and we say next. And now for the ability, we want to get some tankiness into Maneha, and thick skin for the extra damage reduction on slash, pierce and crush is just way too good to skip. On level 8, we're pumping up athletics, we say next. And now it really depends what weapons you want to use on Maneha when dual wielding. In this case, we have a sword and we have a battle axe, so the best option, flat up benefit accuracy, would be the knight. Okay, weapon focus on knight. If you plan to play with S-stacks, flails, then it's adventurer. If you plan to go with maces and rapiers, then it's noble. If you plan to go with peasant, then it's spear. Okay, dual wielding spears. If you plan to go with ruffian, then it's sabers, stilettos and clubs. If you plan to go with a soldier, then it's war hammers. So in this case, on Maneha, we're gonna take knight because we use sword and battle axe. On level 9, we're keeping the points for the next level, we say next. For the ability now, we're gonna take Savage Defiance because of the extra sustain on Maneha. We need some life back while fighting, and Savage Defiance does the job extremely well. On level 10, we're going up with athletics, we say next. And now, for the talent, we're gonna go with Stalwart Defiance. Defiance will also provide Maneha with deflection, fortitude, reflex, and will. Extremely powerful self buff. She's gonna become very tanky. On level 11, we're going with athletics. And now we're gonna take for the ability Heart of Fury, bread and butter late game damage dealing ability on a barbarian. Barbarian uses all of his weapons to smack enemies. Extremely good on Maneha. On level 12, we're getting athletics again, we say next. And now, cause we took attack speed on dual wielding, now we can sacrifice the 20% in attack speed to get flat melee damage reduction bypass on Maneha with vulnerable attack talent. On level 13, we're keeping the points for level 14 for the athletics, we say next. And now we're gonna take the most fun in Barbarian as far as abilities go. It's the Dragon Leap. You leap above and reposition while dealing damage on the place where you land. This is extremely powerful ability on a Barbarian and extremely fun as well. On level 14, we're going with Athletics, we say next. And now, because we got extreme amount of accuracy, we can sacrifice Maneha's accuracy, -5, to get 20% melee damage with a Savage attack. This is extremely good talent on Maneha. On level 15, we're keeping the points for level 16, we say next. And for the final level on Maneha, we're gonna take Brute Force, Flare Up, Attack Fortitude instead of Deflection. What Brute Force does, basically, you can burst out squishes, which I'll explain how to do later on. So, Brute Force for Maneha to become more like Assassin than a Barbarian now. And on a final level, level 16, we're getting the final point into Athletics for the huge second wind buff. And for the remainder of points, we can go with 1 into Lore, 1 into Mechanics, 1 into Stealth, and we finish up skills on Maneha. As far as the final talent goes on Maneha, Sneak Attack is extremely valid, and Venom Strike is also a great talent on Maneha. Of course, Interrupting Blows and Bloody Slaughter. That would be 4 great talents for the last one. As far as defensive talents go, one of the best ones to take would be Superior Deflection on Maneha. We got 5 options, so what to take? I recommend Superior Deflection because of extra defenses to Maneha. She already hurts a lot. You don't need that many offensive talents right now. You need her to remain alive. This is the way to go. By Superior Deflection, we finish up leveling Maneha as a Barbarian. How do we play Maneha? First of all, remember to trigger Vulnerable Attack and Savage Attack. So you trigger those 2 passives to be active non-stop. That's the first thing. So once the combat starts, what you want to do is go immediately into Frenzy. Find the squishiest target on a map. So let's say that Pallegina here is the squishiest enemy. What you want to do is that once Frenzy is on, you want to leap immediately into squishes. And after that, you follow up with a Heart of Fury. Huge area of effect circle attack, okay, on all enemies that where you landed. And after that, you pick up Savage Defiance, you get a Shout with a Barbaric Yell, and basic attacks. Once you get low, you have Second Wind, and you also have non-stop health recovery through Savage Defiance. And that's it, very simple to play. You isolate squishes and you kill them. Frenzy into jump attack, into all in. That's about it. Itemization on Maneha. For the helmet, Adra's Helm that gives resolve. For the cloak, Flare Up, Fortitude, Reflex, Will, Defenses. For bracers, we're gonna go with Enduring Bracers, Flare Up, Constitution, and Resolve. For the ring, a great one would be the Ring of Thorns because of dexterity and extra defense while stunned and prone. For ring, of course, it's Ring of Deflection, extra tankiness on Maneha, yeah. For the belt, we're gonna use Berserker's Belt, specific to Barbarians only. It increases the frenzy duration. And for the boots, we're gonna get the Stalking Boots for extra damage to flanked targets. Now, as far as armor goes, you always wanna play Barbarian with light armor. And nothing else but light armor. One of the best light armors that you can equip on Maneha is Guisk Glass, because of the second chance on unconscious. You have 2 lives, basically, non-stop health recovery in combat, and a second wind that gives you a lot of health. Even without Durance to heal you, you have a lot of health recovery and an extra life. Also, 3 good armors, light armors to consider on Maneha would be Starlit Garb, Maneha's flat armor that she comes with, okay, and the Wayfarer's Hide. They're all completely valid, and she's gonna be quite good in those armors as well, but I recommend Guisk Glass. As far as one-handers go, I told you what we took. We took Knight, so we took Sword, and we took a Battle Axe, so she scales like crazy with those 2. And the best option would be Sheeted in Autumn and Edge of Reason. Those would be the best weapons on Maneha. Great weapons to consider, but you're gonna need other weapon focus, would be the Nulia and Ravenwing. Ravenwing is extremely good mace. As far as battle axes go, we got Woodivis and Silver Crow Axe to consider equipping. Okay, they're also great. As far as the Warhammers go, if you decide to play with what Warhammers, the best ones to have would be Godon's Hanir and Strike Hard. They still provide extra crowd control. As far as clubs and maces go, these three are the best on Maneha if you decide to opt in with weapon focus for clubs and maces, and that would be Dial Un Dibita, Aimoranet, and Saint Viglet Kudgyal. They provide crazy good stats. And the final thing would be the longswords. Cat's Claw, Shame of Glory, Whispers of Yenwood are all valid longswords on Maneha, and they're extremely good to have. You can consider taking them up as well until you find Shitty Note. Now, what about soulbounds on Maneha? The best one to have would be the War Club of the Mataru, of course. This is definitely the best soulbound one-handed weapon on any character, including Maneha. The next one would be Steadfast, so you can also opt in to dual wield with this too, if you want to. That would be Maneha build as a Barbarian. Again, she's extremely strong, extremely fun to play with. Barbarians are very useful in this game, and they're as good damage dealers as Wizards, for example. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.